more than 1 million sexually transmitted diseases are acquired every single day worldwide. Out of those, 38 million people lived with HIV in 2019 only. Now, even though organizations such as Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation have been able to significantly reduce these numbers, we all know that HIV remains to be one of the world's biggest problems. So let's take a look at how we're trying to prevent this infection. First of all, education is a key factor. Counseling targeted to vulnerable and specific groups, such as sex workers, adolescents, and men who have sex with men, is key, as well as the promotion of condom use and something called pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is a pill that you have to take every day in order to decrease the chances of you getting HIV. So let's think about these three measures more deeply, or actually more in a common sense. We are dealing with a deadly disease, and we are relying on the human factor, on humans' responsibility to try to prevent it. This doesn't make any sense. However, before getting into the solution, let's talk about now testing. There are 7 million people who still lacked testing in 2019 for HIV. And there are 3 types of testing: antibody testing, self-testing, and rapid testing. They are all efficient. However, they are also having a big gap to cover. They are being reactive and not proactive against the disease. When you get tested, chances are that you already got symptoms and that you've already lived with the disease for not only days, not only weeks, months, but potentially years. And time is essential here. So enter the world of the vaginal microbiome. When you hear that word, you naturally infer that this solution is only going to be available for women. However, it's also been discovered that there is a microbiome specific for men. So that is another topic to cover. However, in the vaginal microbiome, we know that there is a high concentration of bacteria called lactobacilli, which produce, as their name suggests, lactic acid. And again, as the name of lactic acid suggests, it decreases the pH of the vagina. It turns it into a more acidic one, which helps women fight pathogens and keep a good sexual health. So, lactic acid should be part of the solution. Why? Because with the power of synthetic biology and biological computing, we can genetically engineer bacteria such as lactobacilli in order to produce a receptor for HIV. HIV has an envelope protein, so if we can genetically engineer the bacteria like lactobacilli, which naturally live in the vagina, if we can have them as a biosensor, we would be able to not only detect HIV in real time, but we can also implement another part of the biosensor. So in response to HIV, it produces the correct amount of lactic acid. And why do I emphasize the importance of the correct amount? Because it's been proven that in a natural and in a normal and real-life situation, women having sexual relationships get actually a higher chance of getting HIV, even if they have a high concentration of lactobacilli. Why? Because their partner's ejaculation can actually neutralize the pH of their vagina, which lets us thinking, are microbes doing their job right? Well, that is the solution. And I know that with a low pH, we will have lower chances of getting HIV and higher chances for life.